Can you please give us a brief summary of what the latest crime statistics are for Greenpoint, Williamsburg, and can you also speak as to what the trends are, upwards and downwards?
So I'll speak about the 90th Precinct. I'm the commanding officer of the 90th Precinct. In calendar year 2011, we ended the year down in overall major crimes. We were down upwards of about 8 crimes. We were just down. The crime of that historically plagues the 90th Precinct are property crimes. And when I say property crimes, I'm talking about grand larcenies, people leaving property either out in the open or in cars, unsecured, such as laptops, electronics. These electronics, with the advent of these laptop computers and these cell phones, these are all items that years ago they didn't exist. The property of choice years ago was money. You used to hear a robbery and used to stick them up, give me your money. Now it's completely changed. It's a whole new epidemic. It's all around electronics, iPods, cell phones, iPads. So the crimes that plagues Williamsburg, or the 90th Precinct, the overwhelming would be property crimes such as larcenies or burglaries, which is somewhat of a property crime, burglaries of trucks. And what's interesting is, or what's good about that type of a crime is education, educated community. A lot of these crimes could be avoided. They could be avoided by not leaving certain property in your cars, anything valuable. We took a car break-in today in the 90th Precinct. It amazes me. Hundreds of dollars in cash, laptop computers, and iPads sitting in the car overnight. We have to realize, and we have to come to an understanding as a community that we're the good people. There are people that their job is to wake up in the morning and try and victimize us, the good people. That's how they pay the rent. That's how they pay their habit. So they go out and they look for an easy target. That's easy. We could prevent that. We could prevent stuff like that. And if it is a must to leave property such as anything worth any money in your car for whatever reason, secure it, hide it, cover it, put it in your trunk. Certainly burglaries are an issue, particularly in this precinct where people are leaving doors open. People are leaving windows open, and they're not home. They leave. And you get that individual or that group of individual that sees it, and this is who they're going to go after. So I know we have literature back there regarding basic crime prevention tips. Also, there's a program, and I'm going to finish up right now, with the police department offers every precinct. Price is right. It's $0. It's free of charge. It's called Operation ID. And I just spoke about electronics, and that's the property of choice of the bad people taking. Basically, Operation ID is every precinct has a crime prevention officer, and if you have any sort of property, whether it be a laptop computer, a cell phone, any sort of electronics, we put an invisible identifying marking on it. It could be a number, like a random number, like 1, 2, 3. It doesn't ruin your property. It doesn't make it not look good, not look cool for your kids. What it does is it gives us an opportunity to input that piece of property into a computer system. And if we ever come into contact with your property, we can get it back to you. I mean, think about it. How many people get a cell phone and write down your serial number of your cell phone? So let's just say you lose your cell phone, or someone takes your cell phone. We would like to know the serial number. This way, we know it's yours if we come into contact with it. Who does that? You take the box, you throw the box out. Same thing with a laptop. You're lucky if you can call the cell phone carrier and get an ID number. What it does is it affords us the opportunity and affords you the opportunity to get your property back. We do run into, from time to time, people carrying bags with property in them. Hey, where'd you get these 8 laptop computers from? What do you think they say? I found them. No one ever admits to taking it. I found them. Wouldn't it be nice if we could put some sort of a lighting system over it and say, oh, this is registered with the police department, and you get a phone call. We work very, very hard for our items that we purchase. Let's make it harder on the bad guy to take it. Secure your valuables. Register with Operation ID. It's a good, positive thing. I hope I answered your question. If I didn't, ask me right now.
Follow-up question. Can you also speak as to what the upward and downward trends are regarding violent crime?
Yeah, violent crime in shootings or robberies or
Anything, any sort of felonious assaults, sexual
a
assault.
current trend. Current trend right now, if you want to talk about a current trend, 2011, we're a couple weeks into the year. Fortunately, we're doing all right. The 90th precinct, I know the 94 is doing very well also. We're doing all right when it comes to robberies or assaults. We did have an unfortunate incident on New Year's Day. We took a shooting homicide, which was just outside the Bushwick-Berequin housing development. That was on New Year's Day. That case is being investigated by the 90th precinct detectives very aggressively. But right now, comparing robberies and assaults as compared to last year, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, we're pretty close to last year. And if you want to compare, I can give you an actual percentage decrease as compared to maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago. And if I think about the percentage decrease from like 15 years ago for the old timers that were from here, it's really something to hear. But we closed 2011. The 10-year reduction in robberies is 24.3%. 10-year reduction. The 10-year reduction in felony assaults is minus 17.3%. The 10-year reduction in murders is minus 58.3%. So if you want to take a long trend, a decade-old trend, the crime's gone down. But I mean, we're at a point right now. Are we going to rid Williamsburg of every single crime? I'm not unrealistic. I'm not going to say yes. I do believe we could do better. We could do a lot better. And if we just follow certain tips, and again, like a meeting like this is awesome. This is a great thing. This is a great forum to come to and express your concerns. It allows us to hear you, and it holds us responsible. And don't ever assume for 1 minute that the police know everything that's going on. We'd like you to think that, but don't assume that. You have to let us know. And then hold us to task and say, hey, listen, we told you about this last month. We told you about this 3 weeks ago. And you don't have to wait for a meeting like this also to come to us. The 90th precinct is open 7 days a week, 24 hours. Okay? Anyone's invited to come see me. My community affairs officers are here. Bruno Vidal, Detective Vidal is here in the back. He'll give you his cell phone with any sort of concerns. I hope I answered your question about the 90th precinct. Anything else?
Yes. In relation, in context of the recent violent assaults, what community outreach have the precincts engaged in to educate the public about what happened and to try to, and when I say community outreach, I mean face-to-face direct interaction with the community. What has been done to reach out?
Are you talking about these specific two incidents or in general?
These two specific instances, but as other assaults happen as well in general. Both. Community is our best friend. I mean, community is an invaluable source of information. You live here. Your kids live here. Your families live here. People talk. People hear rumors. It allows us to obtain information and guide us or steer us in the right direction. We go to meetings. Like we have a meeting here tonight, which is a good thing, and we love coming to meetings. We also hold and host. I host council meetings, my own meetings, every month, which is the second Wednesday of every month, with the exception of July and August. But the second Wednesday of every month, I have my own community council meeting. If we get a nasty incident such as a homicide, serious assault, a sex assault, make no mistake about it, these incidents, myself and Inspector Herzen, we were on the phone on New Year's Day comparing notes. This is rare. This is serious. This has to be handled immediately. So we were on the phone that day, and what we do with the information is community affairs, the sketches. I know I was on the phone with the lieutenant from Special Victims. They're excellent. They're professionals. They're experts. They handle everything sex-related, sex crime-related. They
They've emailed me the bullets of the current status of the case. Case detective information. The sketch was distributed. It's hung in the precinct. The police officers are given the sketches. It's outreach. We're letting the community. We don't want to keep these things hidden. We don't want to keep it hidden. Because when you try and hide things, they just continue. It doesn't correct itself. Now, the lieutenant brought up an incident with a nasty rape that occurred months ago with the taxi. That was a prime example of community outreach. There was press involved in that. The background, I won't get into particulars with the background of his investigation, but if you knew or you understood the aggressive work that was done behind the scenes, it's you could write a movie about it. It was really interesting and it was effective. And they got the guy. Make no mistake, they got the guy. But if we would have just kept it hush-hush and just took a step back, and who knows how many more incidents a guy like that would do. The guy that did the incident on Mass Path on New Year's. We would love any information that was brought up. If anyone knows anything, it's real important to let us know. But yeah, we outreach to the community, whether it's, we have bids. I have a Graham Avenue bid. I have a Rand Street bid. These are sources of outreach for us. I hope I answered your question. Thank you.